Hello everybody and welcome to the Devlog. We're going to be showing off our new tutorial area that we created. That's a little forest. It's going to be right behind Split Town. We created expressions for the characters to use in the right now beta dialogue system that we're working on, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to see a good picture of the forest area that we're working on in the tutorial that's going to be leading up to the new area, make sure you watch to the end of the video because it's going to be really good. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Alright everybody, it's day one, and we're going to try and get a bunch of stuff done. Mainly work on the initial design for the forest, and if we have time, I'm going to try and work on the gear shop, which is going to be a cool little feature that we're adding. So, let's just see what happens. Alright, so here's the initial design for the forest. It's actually looking pretty good. What I was going for this was, you want to have a little section where you just get the basic tutorial things down, like jumping and walking. And you're going to get ambushed at the end, which is going to help you learn the shock ability. Now, I want these all to be basic because you're going to learn the more important battle mechanics when you actually get into Split Town. That's what all the mini-games are for, which are going to lead you to gain the respect of the people in the town. So, really, for this area, it's mainly supposed to guide you. Now, this isn't the final cut, but this is going to guide you through, it's going to show you the basics, and like I said earlier, right at the end, you're going to get ambushed, and instead of going into the battle, which we're going to save that for later, you're going to press B and use Spunk's ability, or whatever we'll assign it to. It might be E. But when you use Spunk's shock ability, it's going to repel the enemies and freeze them, allowing time for Spunk to get away. And this is going to be a pretty cool mechanic, and I'm glad the map came out pretty good. Alright, so this is the design that we have for the gear shop. Now, I've noticed that many other games have it where you can equip certain medals or items that help just boost stats or boost things. Maybe give you poison resistance. And we wanted that to happen for Spunk because you have to have something that's helping level up. We're not doing any armor, even though it is an RPG and that would be nice. We want it to be more like you equip those and then they have their effects. You're going to get a meter that you can increase slowly over time by finding pieces, not by leveling up, by exploring. I always thought that would be a good way to do it. But when I was designing the gear shop, I made sure to make it like a little stall. Like, you know how you see the stalls at like a carnival or something, selling popcorn? Well, this is going to be selling gears. And I figured what better way to represent the gear shop than gears. So I took a gear model, and I just popped it on top there, and I scaled it up a little bit to make sure it's looking nice. Then when I imported it into Unity, it was looking even better. I made sure that I gave it a nice new fresh color palette by getting some new colors out for it, and I made sure to set up a little stage in the central area. You'll be able to access this shop at any time after you get through the Autumn Town part, because then that's going to lead you to the central area where you can walk around and buy stuff. We're not sure what the currency is going to be right now for it, but we're pretty sure you're going to be able to buy the medals and use them. If not, you're going to be able to redeem them for killing enemies. But it's still all in beta, so we're trying to figure it out. Maybe we should do currency, maybe we should do unlockables, I don't know. Maybe leave a comment down below if you have an idea. Alright, it's day 2, and I'm going to try to fix the look of the forest. It's a little too boring, and I want to make sure it's looking better. Also, we might be able to get the expressions done, depending on how good Spice Lemon number 1 does. So let's see how we did. Alright, so we're on to the expressions. Now, I'll be honest, they're looking really good, but we have to get more done. Basically, when the dialogue box pops up, there's going to be a still of each character, with the one who's talking going to be more in frame than the other. Maybe the other will be fade out. We don't know yet. But when the dialogue pops up, we want something to match the characters just when they're speaking. You can't just have text. Well, I mean, you can, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to understand their tone without facial expressions. So, if you want Spunk to be surprised when he's talking, we're going to have a surprise look. And we're really thinking this is going to add to the whole comedic feature of the game. We're trying to make it funny. And because of that, it's looking really good, honestly. All the different expressions are working great. Alright, so this is the new forest. Now, I wanted to improve it. The old forest was just boring. Just a straight line of trees wasn't going to do it for me. I wanted it to be interesting. So I figured, just get rid of all the trees in general. I wanted to paint a picture here, and I thought of a perfect story that would go with it. Now, this is going to be right before Split Town came about, and they're going to chop down all the trees and use it to build it. And so eventually they're not going to use the trees anymore. They found more conventional methods. So it's really just going to be a bunch of boulders and trees that are left lying down or chopped logs. And I really like the way it looks, because this way it's open. We can have things to put tutorial markings on, like press this and this to jump, or do this and that to go somewhere. And because of this, it's going to work out really nice. And it's also perfect for the camera since Spunk can just walk around and the camera can be over the river because it's got more space. Speaking of which, if you fall in the river, you die. But hopefully nobody does that. I'm really hoping that it turns out good, and by the looks of it, it works fine, honestly. We're going to be showing a bit of a walkthrough later of how it looks, but for now, it's looking really nice. Alright, so I attempted to do a dialogue system. Now, like I said, I'm not good at coding, but I tried. So basically, after I made my text box in MS Paint, which it came out really nice, I popped it into Unity. And I was trying to code it so that when you walked up to an enemy, or not an enemy, an NPC, you pressed E, and then it would talk to them. Simple, right? No. I tried to make it so that when it popped up, the text would scroll and I could type what the message would be for each individual thing. But I don't know the variable that represents text. It says it's undefined, and I'm still trying to figure it out. If anybody has any fixes, can you leave it down in the comments below? But it was public, text, and then the name of that, and I didn't know what to do. I was been trying to figure it out. I even asked my slum member number 3, and he didn't know what to do either. So if anybody has any fixes, that would be great. But if we can find a better system, and we can work on that, we're going to try to. So stay tuned for the next devlog. You might see an actual finished dialogue system. Alright, it is day 3, and we're going to try and get done the item shop. We're going to be showcasing Small Spunk, who might help you in the menu or might be a tutorial person. And we're going to try and do a little walkthrough of the forest to show you what it looks like. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, so this is Small Spunk. Look at the little guy, he's so adorable. Basically, what Small Spunk is going to do, he's going to replace Spunk if you guys really like him, because we think he's super cute. But he's probably going to be a little menu tutorial helper. So basically you can look at him and it'll show you a little diagram of what you need to do. Pretty simple, and I think it'll be a good fit for him. Alrighty, so contrary to the gear shop, this is the item shop. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. These are going to be consumables, things that you can use once and then they're gone. You'll have to buy these. We're pretty sure these will restore health to the party, or they'll give temporary stat boosts. Now, we made it a hammer because how do you fix robots or machines? You have to use hammers sometimes. Now, this is more of a sledgehammer, so it doesn't really fit that, but I figured this would look the best, and it came out really nice. It's going to be located right next to the gear shop, so if you need anything to buy, you can buy it from there. I think you can buy things for the entire party, but if you're using stat boosts, I think they'll be individual to each character. Or maybe we'll make them medals that you can purchase there. Who knows? There might be a redeemable system like we said earlier. So make sure you leave a comment down below if you want a redeemable system or you want a currency. We're up for both, and honestly, I would be down for either. I think the currency would look a little bit better because then you can actually defeat enemies for a reason, for XP, and for coins. Alright, so this is going to be a little walkthrough of the forest, and it came out pretty nice. Now, we're still working on the movement system, and we ran into a few errors and we're trying to correct them. But the way the camera's been working, it's really nice. It hasn't been clipping, but does anybody have any way to fix it if it does? We've been trying to work that out. But it runs perfectly along the river, and we might even have a set path for it to go on. And it looks really nice, honestly. I'm proud of myself on this one. And that's about it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, why don't you leave a like or subscribe? You don't have to, but it's all optional. We would really enjoy it, though. It helps us keep making series like this. Leave a comment down below, and make sure it's good criticism. If it's bad or good, we don't care, as long as it's just not "you suck." Although that would be quite funny if you left it there, I'll be honest. But make sure if you're actually leaving a nice comment, or you're leaving a comment that's actually giving feedback, make sure it's an actual, creative criticism on that. We love improving. And, here comes the line. Don't forget that you're amazing.